Hello everyone. In this demo, I'll be taking you through the process of syncing your customer or product insights from your cloud data warehouse, which is Snowflake in this case, to your Google Sheets without sharing any of your credentials to a third-party vendor and totally free of cost. So essentially what we want to do is that I have a Snowflake warehouse here. So I want to sync the output of this particular query to my Google Sheets, which is configured on my personal Gmail account. So to do that, right, I'll go back to my Snowflake, go back to my open source repo of Castled, go to the README, and if I scroll down, I'll find a section which contains the instructions that you require to set up Castled on your local, or if you want to deploy it on premise, you can do that as well by following the instructions here. So I'm going to skip that step since I already have done a Docker Compose up and I have Castled running on my local host here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a pipeline. So I reach the source selection page where I have to select the source from which I want to sync the data. I'm going to select Snowflake. I have already created a demo Snowflake here, which makes a connection to my Snowflake warehouse. But if you want to create your own warehouse, it is pretty straightforward. You just have to enter your credentials here and that will establish a connection to your Snowflake data warehouse. So I'm going to select the demo Snowflake. So now here I have to enter the query, the results of which I want to sync the data to Google Sheets. So I'm just going to enter the query here. I'm going to do run query so that I can preview the results of the query. Yeah, so I've seen the results and I'm okay with that. So I'm doing a continue. So now here, this is the destination selection page where I want to select the destination to which I want to sync the data, right? So in this case, it's Google Sheets. So I'm selecting Google Sheets. So here I have to name the destination app. I'm going to name it Test Google Sheets. And here is where I have to enter the spreadsheet URL of my destination. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to put it here. Okay. So now we are actually given the URL of the spreadsheet URL. So what we have to do now is we have to configure a Google service account which can access this particular Google Sheets. To do that, what we have to do is we have to go to the Google Cloud Console. So this is totally free of cost. Log in with your personal email, or if you have official email, you can log in with that. Right. And then we have to create a service account. So how do we do that? We have to go to APIs and services, credentials, and there you will find a session for creating service accounts, right? So I'm going to click on manage service accounts. I'm going to create a new service account. So I'm going to name it something like test castle, like 126. That's all, right? I'm going to click on done. Right, so this is getting created. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside the service account, go to keys, and now I have to download the service account JSON that I've created for the service account. So I'm going to do create new key, select JSON here and click on create. Okay, so now if you see, we have downloaded the JSON for the service account we have just created. And there is just one more thing that you have to do. You have to go to the Google Sheets API of your Google Cloud Console and you have to enable your Google Sheets API so that this Google Cloud Console can access your Google Sheets. So we'll wait for that to complete. It will take a few seconds. Yeah, it is done now. So we'll go back to our Castle console. In the place where we have to select the service account, we are just going to enter that test service account. Yeah. So I'm going to select the file that we downloaded. So now it is asking us to give permission of our Google Sheets to the service account email, which I'm going to do by going here, click on share, and I'm going to give permission to this email. I have to give editor permission to this email, which I did. I'm going to click on send. So it is added now. So I'm going back to my Castle console. I am going to click on save and continue. Okay, so it is done now. So now it is asking me to select the sheet where I want to sync the data. In this case, it's sheet 1. So I'm selecting sheet 1. I'm clicking on continue and I've reached the mapping page where I have to map the query fields to the destination fields, right? I'm just going to let it like this. And I'm going to select email as the primary key. So we have to select a primary key because that is the key on which deduplication will happen on the destination. I'm going to click on continue. I'm going to give a name for this pipeline. I'm going to say Snowflake to G Sheets, and I'm going to keep this the same, and I'm going to click on create pipeline. Okay, so now it will take a few seconds to sync the data from Snowflake to Google Sheets. So we'll wait for that. So it is querying the data, exporting to the S3 destination that you are given, and then finally syncing it to the destination. Okay, so it is done now. So if you go to Google Sheets, you can see the data synced in Google Sheets, right? So now if I kind of go back to the console and do a run now again, it will not fetch any records because by default we just fetch the deltas from your destination, so from the source. So unless until the source records changes, we'll not get any more records here. Yeah, that's about it, guys.